Headline comes out that sneaky Michael Chandler has plans for Conor McGregor's hurt leg. Now, this was clickbait at its finest, but it got me, and I clicked. Now, Chandler, it appears, was speaking to Ariel, and somewhere the topic came up, and I wish I knew the genesis. I really wish that I knew the genesis, because if Chandler was asked, will you go after Conor's hurt leg, like, that would just annoy me. That's a weird question to ask somebody. It's a weird question to bring up. And it's always interesting from a psychological standpoint what the response is, because the guy does not give the response that is truthful. He gives the response that he decides makes him look better. And to say, no, I would not go after a guy's hurt leg. No. Okay, great. Your job is to beat the guy, and the first criteria to beat him is damage. So, should you not be doing this job? I mean, you have a deal with the fans and the promoter and the people that bet on it and the people that carry us on. You have a responsibility. Are you now here on Ariel's program telling everyone you are not going to take that responsibility serious because you have decided there is a higher calling? And see where it starts to get weird? Now, I don't profess for you that this is what happened. I watched the interview. I'm left with clickbait that called Chandler sneaky and something to do with the leg. I just want to speak on the topic in general. So, let me personalize this. I had a fight with an athlete. We'll call it an athlete. And I get inside information gets put to my team that my opponent has a bad ankle. Now, I have the foggiest idea what I'm supposed to do with that. Like, when I hear that, what that tells my mind, if that information is accurate, and you gotta have one hell of an injury. I mean, you really do. Because you gotta hide it, one, from the commission. Nobody can see it, or the fight doesn't go on. But then two, you guys have heard this before, like, you know, all your nerves and these different emotions, but as soon as that cage door shut, it all goes away. That's true for the most part. Like, it doesn't really matter what's hurt. People have had broken bones once the fight starts. They don't deal with it, don't affect it, don't even feel. So it's a hell of a thing if my opponent has a hurt ankle. And the way my ears hear that is, if that information is true, that might stop his ability from attacking me. Nowhere do my ears hear go attack his ankle. Now, I have a job to go and hurt him. Damage. I have a job to hurt him in a way that stops him from continuing. So if that ankle is already hurt before it even starts, but he's going to do the fight, which shows a hurt ankle is not something that would stop him from continuing, why would I go and hurt it? I mean, just fundamentally speaking, I'm going to hurt it more? Is that the thought? Well, wouldn't you know, it was with somebody in my team. So we gotta go attack the ankle. Now, there's one big problem with that for me. I don't know how. In all my years, go back to 1997. At that point, I had 22 years in this sport. All sorts of practice room and training camp. Go over here, work with these guys, and maybe even a different country, and I'm getting knowledge from here. I'm watching it. Boy, I bought the DVDs. I got the magazines. I mean, if there was ever a technique that I had access to, in those 22 years, I got it covered. Never once did any of those magazines, DVDs, or training sessions involve attacking a guy's ankle. I just simply don't know how to do it. So if he's got a hurt ankle, I don't know what it's got to do with me. It might stop him from doing it, but what's it got to do with me? And let's say I do get to the ankle that's hurt. He's already shown by starting the fight that he can operate with a hurt ankle. How about we go hurt something else and see if we can hurt it more and enough to make him stop the fight? These are just my ears. But it was a very strange concept to me that because something was hurt, I should go out and attack. It was just a strange concept. I'm going to change my plan. I'm going to change what I do And then what do I do to it? By the way, what would you guys do if a guy had a hurt ankle? You ever seen when people, and I hope you haven't been part of this, but this is something that's done particularly in grade school, where you got one kid that's big, overweight, and he tells this a smaller guy he's going to beat him up or something, and the smaller guy goes, you just sit on me. Or vice versa, where you're much bigger than somebody else, and you tell, oh, God, I could beat you. I could just sit on you, right? It's one of those things that people say, but they're being serious about it. I fought 51 men. I never sat on any of them. I've overwhelmed a number of them. I never had anyone I could sit on. I've been in those situations. I never had anybody could sit on me. I don't even know why they say it. But as silly as it is, it's as silly as thinking that I'm going to be able to attack a guy's ankle, which I've never learned. I mean, what do? Do I do a running drop kick to the ankle? What does that technique look like? I can't reach it, so we know we're not punching it, right? It's an ankle. I can't reach. What would I do to the ankle? Why? Now, I had a different match. I had a different match when I was in high school. I was a senior. Fargo, North Dakota, the Junior Nationals. There was a very, very tough guy. A great reputation, this guy. And he had a bad hand. His hand was, he had wrapped it all up and he came out. And even when it was time to shake hands, he could barely put that hand out there. And I couldn't figure out why he was going to do the match. Like, if you can't begin the match, which starts with a handshake, if you can't do that, who thought you should do the match? I mean, whose idea was that? And so the kid is going to go on, the coach in the corner isn't going to be the adult in the room. And it's a very weird concept. Because I'm sure the kid will go, no, I'll go on with had a hand. Right? I'm a tough guy. Well, if you can't shake hands to start the match, it's just a very weird thing. And this guy was very good. He was bigger than me and he was freshman. It's just all these different things. I attacked the hand. Of course I did. Because unlike the ankle, I do know how to attack a hand. My hand's here, his hand's here. In fact, he's going to hand it to me to shake it. All I got to do is squeeze, right? I mean, it's one of these things that is a very different situation. And I remember for that entire match, it was uncomfortable because I got my points and now I don't need any points. I don't need any points and he's not going to be able to score because he only got one hand. So all I have to do is run out the clock. But anytime that he got a little bit antsy, I would squeeze the hand. So for that entire match, I would reach out and grab the hand. And I would stand there and do nothing. And when he got that where he was getting ready to fire, I would then squeeze the hand and it would buckle him. It was like tears in his eyes and he's screaming out in pain. And the referee continues to stop the match. And the corner sees it and I know, and the referee begins to look at me. The referee even started to say something to me like, hey, come on. He started to and caught himself. He caught himself before he told me to not do something that was legal. And I will tell you, it was awkward. And I don't know why the corner didn't step in and help him. I don't know why. And I understand why the athlete wouldn't take himself out, but I can't understand why the corner wouldn't. Particularly once I have the points and I've demonstrated that he can't score and he can't score because he's hurt. I've never understood the mindset of let a guy go out on his shield. I've never got that. I get it from the guy. I don't get it from the corner. To have your rocky moment, I get it from the guy. I don't get it from the corner. The corner's job is you don't get the athlete out of there when he can take more damage. That is what many believe. They should not be licensed. You get your athlete out of there when you know he can no longer win the fight. That's when it's time to go home. And so I hear this idea of Conor's leg, and I hear all this thought put into it, and attack it or don't attack it, or there's a code or there's an honor. It's a very bizarre concept. And there again, it would never be for the opponent. It would be to the commission. If that leg is in fact damaged and hurt, why did you sanction the fight? And there would be no response after that. Other than that, your job is to win, and you do not need to be kind. You don't need to be nice. You don't need to do it with heart or sportsmanship. You need to be ferocious. You need to be heartless. You need to operate within the rules. And aside from that, stop asking stupid questions.